Making pancakes. Easy as that. The Wii version, each character had its own theme song that was you'd have a different genre for each one. Like for Warpus, for example, was Polka, and his entrance was just flat out base jumping out of a plane and landing on his stomach without using a parachute. It was incredible! Also, there's other things in that game that are just flat out OP. Like if you're playing as Hammer Bro, which is one of the helper characters, the fully powered up version of its shot fires hammers at the goalie, which incapacitates him and then shoots the ball. How often does that not score? Hint, not very often. Anyways, why am I still ranting about Super Mario Strikers while I'm playing Mario Party? That's a good question. I have not played Mario Space. I kind of want to. I haven't yet. I don't know, I kind of feel like it's gonna have mini-games that are gonna be just slightly more fleshed out than sports mini-games that are in Mario Party. Like, there's ice hockey and soccer and Mario Party games as part of the bonus modes. It's just kind of there. It is fun. It is good, but it's not fleshed out like an actual full-on Mario sports game is. So I don't know. And they're basically making a Mario Sports Mix 2. I forget what it was called. Sports Superstars. I think it's going to be on 3DS. It was announced at a recent Nintendo Direct. And it has horseback riding, which is going to be great. I haven't played any of the Olympic Games. And I know Equestrian is a popular, well, maybe not popular, but popular to some people, long-standing event in the Summer Olympics. So that's probably got to be in one of the Olympic Games. I don't know. Lots of people talk crap about them, but I don't know. They look pretty harmless to me. It's, a compilation of sports-related mini-games where you get to play as a whole bunch of different characters, and there's the potential for something awesome there, because you take like a normal Olympic event and then you can put a Mario or Sonic flair on it and have it almost like say in one of the winter games you can have like a snowboard racing game with Sonic characters. Just be like Mario Kart, but with snowboards, kind of not really like 1080 snowboarding, but that was a good game in its own right. I don't know. I did play the demo of I think it was the London Olympic Games one, and I went the wrong way. Why didn't you tell me why I was going the wrong way, Luigi? Yeah, I did play the demo of the London Olympic Games game, and I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed my time playing it. It didn't translate to me actually buying the game, but it is what it is.
I'm gonna win.
That minigame is mostly self-explanatory. You got a battery which for whatever reason is on a massive stretcher, and you just gotta maneuver through that maze. And you can't make the stretcher any shorter because that would have been too simple. And your inputs, can offset each other and then you'll be stuck. But if you're playing with a computer, computers in Mario Party games bend to your will when you're playing 2v2 type of games like that. Yeah, I've ranted about Mario Sports for a bit. Oh, how about some more ranting about Mario Sports games? There are about to be 6 characters on one space. Also, yes, I'm evil. And now we're in a situation where L is on the rise. So I'm just going to be using Waluigi because, well, it's like he was looking for a villain. Oh, man. I was perfect up until the very end. I could have shown off the whole... Okay, it's 15 coins instead of 20. I could have shown off the whole you getting the free stars thing. But it wasn't meant to be. You gotta take some big risks because you gotta fire some shots that are gonna get really close to Toad's worth. Mario Sports Rants. So, you know, we had some really good games on the 64, and they got some really good sequels on the GameCube. And then the Wii came out, and they didn't make any golf or tennis games on the Wii. The 3DS came along, and they did make a golf and a tennis game on the 3DS. Both of which were solid, however, I think both of them are also inferior to the GameCube counterparts. They had a couple more playable characters, they had a couple of interesting new modes, and the golf one especially did some things that I was appreciative of, like Toadstool Tour, which is the GameCube Mario Golf game. It had a lot of realistic golf courses, which is not the reason I'm playing Mario Golf, you know. Have something that's like underwater, or like, you know, well, they did one Mushroom Kingdom course and one Bowser course, but, you know, have more Mario in my Mario Sports game, which they did for the GameCube game, which I really appreciated. There actually was an underwater course. There was like a course that was like in the clouds with like those big, weird, rounded with eyes thing.
Luigi, like it.
Yeah. Both solid games, and then they said, hey, I've got an idea. Let's make a tennis game on the Wii U. Let's have it cost $50 and have it have less content than the Mario Tennis game on the 64, which, if I'm not mistaken, was available on the Wii U eShop at the time. Seriously, that game has, like, one mode, one court, not as many characters as any other version of the game. It's just... I love Mario sports games, but I cannot justify buying that game because of how it's, like, so light on content for a full-price game. So here we got the aforementioned super hard multiplayer Bowser minigames, and their redeeming quality is the fact that they do have hilarious names like Magical Journey and Funsicle Course. I believe we're on Funsicle Course right now. This game kind of mirrors the frustration of, you know, scrolling Mario levels where you're like, I want to go ahead, but, you know, I'm being forced to go along at a fixed pace. Plus I'm being chased by stuff, and I don't even know what the penalty for losing is because I was skipping over text boxes. Also, the platforms were very platform Carol-esque for those of you who are fans of Mario Party like I am, and most of the games by mere mention of the title. If you don't worry, we'll be getting to 1 and 2 pretty early on. Sooner than you think. But yeah, this kind of an anti-mini game. Instead of playing to get stuff, you're playing to not lose stuff. And luckily, I made it across, so I don't have to suffer whatever horrible fate it would have been for me losing this mini game. How much you want to bet it was something like lose all orbs, which I don't have any. Okay, half coins, that a little bit bad, but that bad. What turn even are we on? It doesn't matter, we got mini games to play. We got more 8-player. As long as we don't get a repeat, I'm alright. This one's fun. It's basically on with 8 players. First time I played this, 2 people on my team ended up being the last one remaining, which was pretty funny because then they just sort of like face the camera and they're like, "We win!" And the game ends. You can see here these bombs are a bit upgraded because the players to the left and right of you will die. And unfortunately, Mario ended up being in that group, so I'm gonna try and pass it off. Toad, okay. Now blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up. Yeah! I'm on to the final round. Now all I gotta do is get lucky. Don't really think there's a lot more I can do here. I can hold on to it for sure, but Yeah.
Finish!
Just as planned.
I'm the winner.
Gotta say, Mario, those were some impressive flips you were doing there. Normally you have to do, like, what, 3 jumps in a row before you can do flips like that? Alright, so it's Bowser time. And there's some Bowser time events that I'm a big fan of. Are we gonna get one of those? No. No? What you got for us, Bowser? Oh, the exact same event we had earlier? You were upset that no one got your Czar from last time? Fine. See, Bowser time happens after every 5 turns. Yeah, so last five turn events should happen. I think it'll happen next turn. Maybe? I'm confused. I really like how that guy says, "I'm here to take your coins, sucker." Also, if you pay attention, that Koopa on the camera actually does follow you around based on what space you're on as you're going by him. Kind of a nice little added touch. I like it when I find little things like that in games. Alright. I'm skipping over the dialogue, but yeah, that's when he says I'm happy as a mad poet, and it still doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, you bet I'm gonna take another free thingy-majiggy. Plus, I love the shopping star. You're gonna open up the hole just enough for those other 2 people not to fall in. That was nice of you. So, another multiplayer Bowser minigame. And if it's orbs, I have to actually try. Waluigi, you did well last time, but let's give Mario a shot at... just... because Mario tends to be good at navigating stuff. Didn't we just do this? Yes. Yes, we did. Crap. Well, that doesn't really have that many long-term horrible implications for me. Whatevs, Bowser. I know you need that hush-hush money. Pay off your debtors for all those castles constantly building. After all, there is a new Bowser board in this installment of Mario Party. It's gotta taking a lot of labor and parts to build those spaces. I should know. I've tried to build my own Mario Party board in the past. You know, you get some chalk out, you draw a whole bunch of, like, little circles all down the sidewalk, all through the street that you live on, and then you write little things next to it for different board events and stuff. It's super fun. Come on, you can't tell me that when you were a kid you didn't try to make your own giant board game. Oh, you didn't? Oh, well, explain why I'm such a Mario Party freakazoid. There is a thing coming up in my town. It's some kind of, like, giant Monopoly. Like, it just takes place in this little downtown area. You have to pay a fee to get in, but I think it's like, you just go around and you, like, you know, buy up different local businesses and build them up, houses and hotels. It sounds totally freaking awesome! I don't know if I'm actually going to do it, because you gotta get into teams, and it's going to be a little difficult to find someone who's as crazy about Monopoly as I am to join my team for that. I say Monopoly, not board games, because I can find people who love board games, but Monopoly is a particularly divisive board game. I still own like 6 to 8 different sets of Monopoly, and I love how it's just so versatile, and there's a version of it for just about everything, but I can also tell you that I have played many, many games that are just flat out strictly built on Monopoly. But if you ever find someone who's never ever played Monopoly, you gotta let them play it at least once. And, you know, make things interesting if the game's getting slow, you know. Get a YouTube app up on your TV and have a roving DJ going on, like, you know, in turn order, each person will pick a different song, and, you know, it's an interesting way to figure out what some people's favorite bands are, or maybe you'll just take that as an opportunity to introduce them to something horrible that I did.
Go!
So, this mini-game is, well, it's a mini-game. Just trying to, I'm controlling the thing with the holes on it, and I'm just trying to make it so that they fall in. Couldn't do it, fell in.
Finish!
That was really close. It totally looked like trying to back on. But I guess he didn't. Luckily, they didn't fall to their deaths. Normally, you would expect that, because, I mean, come on, this is Mario Party. Maybe, since this is the 7th installment, safety standards have been upgraded a bit, because, you know, Mario can't get away with this for forever. There's only so many one-up mushrooms in the world, except there's actually craploads of them, because especially, let's say you just kind of hand those out like it's a parade, and the one-up mushrooms are candy. You know, it's got each booth. Everyone's just these big bags of one-up mushrooms, and they're just throwing them out on the streets. People are running them over with their cars. Kids are getting run over trying to grab one-up mushrooms, but it's okay because they're grabbing one-up mushrooms while they're getting run over. It's a spectacle. Yeah, that is something. It's really disappointing because kids are dumb, and they like run out to the street during the parade. So like, oh, like, I'm candy. And like, I've been to parades recently where they're like, we stopped doing candy because kids are stupid. And I'm like, but I want candy. You gotta think of the adults here that want candy. Most parades, this has happened very rarely, though. Although, while I'm on the subject of parades, I gotta say, parades in odd-numbered years are probably about half the length of parades in even-numbered years. Because most of the time when especially this year when I went to a parade, like, half of it was just different things for different people running for different things. And it's just like people chanting, like, blah, blah, Jefferson, Ron John Jefferson. Ron John Jefferson, just like he was walking around with like this big swagger, and he had this big group of people behind him, and he had monster trucks, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's going places. I mean, he had monster trucks, for crying out loud. I actually have volunteered in the past to help out someone in their local campaign, and I, you know, carried a banner while in the parade and stuff. It was kind of fun.